special report, we broke down the cost to house an inmate at the Tippecanoe County Jail. According to a study from 2011, Sheriff Tracy Brown says it costs roughly $37 a day, or about $14,000 a year per inmate.
And with an average of about 350 inmates currently incarcerated, that's about a $4.7 million tab every year for the sheriff's office. In part 2 of her report, News 18's Krista Henry reports that while the jail is not currently operating at full capacity, recent changes to the state's criminal code could affect inmate population and budgets at the local level.
It's been about 4 months since a change in Indiana's criminal code went into effect. The changes are part of a massive undertaking by lawmakers to rewrite Indiana's criminal code for the first time in 4 decades. Tippecanoe County Sheriff Tracy Brown says one of the main changes is the reduction in sentences for lesser crimes like theft and battery.
Sheriffs across the state are very concerned because they're looking just at the approach that there are Class D felons that have now been reclassified to a lower class that are no longer eligible for time with Indiana Department of Corrections.
Sheriff Brown says while it's only been a few months since the changes, they haven't noticed a difference in population at the county level just yet. But he fears that down the road, they'll start picking up the tabs for prisoners that would have been the state's responsibility.
We know that those individuals are going to come back to local jurisdictions, to the county jail. We know that the entire sentencing structure for judges has been completely rewritten as well.
Currently, there are about 350 inmates incarcerated at the Tippecanoe County Jail. There are a total of 553 beds, but Sheriff Brown says it's been several years since they've operated at full capacity.
At one point in time, I think we had the 6th, 7th, 8th largest jail in terms of population in the state of Indiana, and that is not something that you want to move up in that category.
But he says only time will tell if they'll move up in that category again, and that possible increase in population, he says, comes with a dollar sign. Tippecanoe County Prosecutor Pat Harrington says the major concern at a local level is the bill didn't allocate enough funding to local communities.
It's wonderful when everyone can sit at the table and say, these are the issues, these are the solutions, but then they don't give you the solution to the issues. They say, this is what we're going to do.
Harrington says while there were some necessary changes needed within the criminal code, local authorities were told that one of the main reasons behind the restructuring was because of overcrowding inside state prisons. Sheriff Brown says at one point the state was paying them $35 a day to house inmates from the Department of Corrections, but that's not the case anymore. While the county once had more than 100 DOC inmates, Brown now estimates there are 20 or less.
Which begs the question, if the DOC is overcrowded, why has the number of DOC inmates who used to serve time at the county jail, why has that number dropped so drastically?
Doug Garrison, spokesperson for the DOC, says that's not necessarily the case. He says the hope for changes in the law is that an increase in population will slow down before it becomes a problem.
We're bumping up toward the upper limits of what we can hold in our prisons. I mean, so are we overcrowded? I don't think we could say that. Are we crowded up to the limits? Yeah, that's a fair statement.
Reporting in Tippecanoe County, Krista Henry, News 18.